Sometimes I run into people, and the people that I run into work really hard. And having a good work ethic is really a good and an excellent thing. And I am really in favor of people having a passion and an energy and a zeal for what they do, because whether you love what you do or whether you hate what you do, the honest truth is you will probably spend a fair amount of your life doing whatever it is that helps provide to make money for you. Some of what we do is speculative, and we don't know whether it will make provision or not, but we have hope that maybe it will make provision. Some of the work we do, we punch a time clock and we show up, and whether we do a good job or a poor job, the amount of economic remuneration will be the same. And I really believe the Scripture speaks to people who work for others and says that what we should do is we should do a good and an excellent job as we are able, and that we should serve those for whom we work in this present age as we would serve the Lord. But Scripture also indicates that we are a people who are a free people and not a slave people. And one of the things that God does with his children in the beginning of the books of Torah is he lets them know that there is a Shabbat. There is a day off. There is a day of rest. There is a day where they are not to pursue work, but they are to pursue rest, renewal. They are to make space and time to worship God. They are to make space and time to draw close to family and relationships. You are not a machine. You are not a robot. You are not a cog in a wheel serving something else where your entire value comes from your being efficient and useful to an economic entity somewhere. You are first and foremost a spiritual being. And yes, part of our world involves our working. Part of our world involves God having his hand on us and drawing us to know himself. Part of our world is having relationships with people who are close to us, whether you have taken covenant and vows and you've married someone, whether you are from a family of origin, whether you are part of a congregation or a community that ends up being part of people who are significant and close to you. You will work, but these are all things that cannot be ignored, cannot be shoved to the side, cannot be allowed to be diminished in your life. These are all things that are important that you do them in a fashion where you open your heart and where there's opportunity for play, there's opportunity for rest, there's opportunity for thought, there's opportunity for philosophy, there's opportunity for theology, there's opportunity for you to be a person who lives in an extraordinary and a wonderful life. So love your work. Do it well. The hours that you put into working, may they be a joy. May you take this on in a fashion where it is something that you can look to and go, because I love God, I do a good job in these circumstances. But do not allow your job to consume you. Do not allow your job to turn you into a slave. Do not allow your job to create pressure or fear such that that is all that you ever do. Because to God you are so much more important than simply an economic widget that contributes to making the American economy or the economy of wherever you might live run. Understand that you've been created by God. He will ultimately bring you back to himself. And it's really important that during this life, we end up turning to him, we end up seeking him, we end up declaring our allegiance to him, we end up learning who he is and what he wants, and we conform ourselves to him. And once that is in order, our ability to contribute in other areas will be multiplied exponentially. And God will give you skill and cunning in the work of your hand. And you'll be able to enjoy it as he leads. Shalom.